but this is the CSIS Public Report 2023, which is, of course, Canadian Security and Intelligence Service. It's like our CIA. It's like a gay CIA. So, I mean, it's kind of boring. If you see anything in here you want to stop on, I just want to really get down to the gender stuff down at the bottom.
Oh my God.
Kind of the year in review, kind of lame. Some highlights from the report here.
Is this like something they do every year, or is this a specific, specifically requested?
Every year. So in 2023, CSIS conducted 147 engagement activities, just 30% more than 2022. And CSIS met with representatives of Indigenous governments, community organizations, civil society, research and innovation institutes, and provincial governments, et cetera, et cetera. Government screening program, just sort of normal stuff here, I guess, what you'd expect your spy agency to be up to. Here's CSIS on social media, access to information and privacy. There is 3,387 Privacy Act, which would be sort of the Canadian version of a Freedom of Information Act request. So that's almost doubled. Or sorry, it's almost tripled.
Yeah, 172%. Yeah.
Yeah. So their social media was viewed over 9.7 million times in 2023, which was 157% more in 2022. And they got a 50% increase in followers across all platforms. Parliamentary appearances: 2020, 4, 2021, 4, 2022, 13, 2023, 12. Mission focus: confronting the environment. So here's
the threat environment.
Threat environment. So what do we got? Let's go to threat reduction measures in 2023 over here. Since 2015, CSIS has had the authority to undertake threat reduction measures. A TRM is an operational action that is intended to reduce a threat to the security of Canada as defined in Section 2 of the CSIS Act. Given its mandate and collection capabilities, CSIS is at times the best placed government of Canada entity to confront a national security threat. So, did you know that?
No.
There was 14 non-warranted threat reduction measures in 2023. What is a non-warranted threat reduction measure?
I don't know. I guess they didn't have to go to a warrant.
Or they didn't have a warrant for it, but they did it anyway. Operating in an increasingly complex threat environment, hostile state actors have become increasingly belligerent and emboldened to advance their objectives in both the physical and cyber realms in any way necessary. This is the Deputy Director of Operations at CSIS, Vanessa Lloyd. Okay, so here's some foreign interference techniques. I did read the foreign interference report as well. It was 200 pages. It was very dry. I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but if not, we will get to it next week because I have it all highlighted and ready to go already. But I think that's going to be like a half an hour just on its own. Foreign interference techniques: elicitation, manipulating someone into sharing valuable and sensitive information through conversation. Illicit and corrupt financing, using someone as a proxy to conduct illicit or corrupt financing on their behalf. Cultivation, building a strong friendship or relationship with someone to manipulate them into providing favors and valuable information. Malicious cyber activities, information manipulation, and coercion, which of course is blackmailing or threatening. So, of course, we'll get into it next week, but the People's Republic of China is like responsible for almost all the foreign interference in Canada when it comes to elections, followed by Russia, then Iran, then India. Any questions so far?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought that the China stuff was kind of questionable, but now they're saying that's most of it.
Yeah, it looks like China, like interfered in a bunch of stuff, but at the riding level. So they're sneaky. So what they're doing is they're getting the people on the Liberal ticket that they want to win, or even on the Conservative ticket that they want to win. So looks like they'll go into a district that, you're pretty confident the Liberals are going to win already, and worry about just making sure that the candidate they want is the one that gets the nomination. So you're very less likely to look at it because the people you expected to win won.
Right. Interesting.
It is kind of interesting, sneaky bastards. I don't think we need to get into this. The reason I really brought this thing up was to get down to this. Because if we get down to around page 18, here we got our cyber threats. Meh, who cares? AI, who cares? Here we go. Violent extremism. What is the incel movement? The incel movement falls within the gender identity driven violence category of IMVE. Involuntary celibates are predominantly male online community adherents who define themselves by their inability to engage in sexual activities with women. Incels blame their
inability or in what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, sorry. Keep going.
They want to have sex, but they can't.
I don't know. I thought it was an intentional thing.
Nah, that's something different. That's the men going their own way, which sounds like a lot of jerking off to me. But and it probably gets gay in the end. But the incels are dudes who want to fuck but can't.
Okay.
And there's a lot of unfuckable dudes. I get it. There's a lot of unfuckable chicks though too. So incels blame their inability to form sexual relationships on their own perceived genetic inferiority, their belief that women will only ever be attracted to the most attractive men, and perceived oppressive societal structures, e.g., feminism and political correctness. They blame women and society as a whole for their personal circumstance. Okay. So I don't know where to go from here. I guess this is kind of talking about just the whole breakdown. This is kind of a few attacks. The Toronto spa attack, where someone killed a gay dude. The Waterloo attack, an act of anti-gender driven violence. On June 28th, 2023, Giovanni Velba Elman, a 24-year-old recent University of Waterloo graduate, entered a gender studies class on campus and stabbed a professor and 2 students with a kitchen knife. He was subsequently charged with 11 offenses, including attempted murder and aggravated assault. Dude didn't even kill anyone.
Surprised the media didn't blow all that up into like far
right.
right.
It's probably Brown. The attack appears targeted, and Villabel Albin held various ideological grievances. His primary motivation was likely, so they're just guessing, was likely his anti-gender views. I mean, it was a gender study.
Anti-gender, though. I mean, that seems like a weird statement, doesn't it?
Well, let's get in. I'm glad you asked. What is the anti-gender movement? The anti-gender movement falls within the gender identity-driven violence category of IMVE and is defined as the ideological opposition to the socio-cultural shifts that are represented by the integration and acceptance of gender theory, including, is that like critical race here? Including acceptance of 2S LGBTQIA+ community. Individuals may become engaged with the movement for many reasons, including beliefs stemming from misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, religious interpretations, conspiracy theories, or a generalized fear of sociocultural change. I mean, you get scared about arm dicks. I am scared of arm dicks. While the movement may collectively hold extreme views, CSIS assesses that only a small portion of adherents are willing to engage in serious violence. The 4 categories of IMVE are xenophobic violence, which is racially motivated by an ethno-nationalist; anti-authority violence, hey, that's me; anti-government, anti-law enforcement; gender identity-driven violence, which is violent misogyny, including the incel movement; any anti-2S LGBTQIA+, and anti-gender-driven ideology; and for other grievance-driven and other. That's the other one. Other. So in 2022, we had 6 RMVE, which of course would be a what's an RMVE again? That'd be a racially motivated violent extremism. There was 6 of them. And then 2023, there was 16. I want to know the races involved. because I bet you it was either Jews and Arabs or blacks and blacks in 95% of the cases, or Asians and Asians. I mean, and I'm not saying they all look the same. They clearly don't, because they know who they're fighting. But everything in Calgary these days is, you know,
Yeah, but that wouldn't fall into those categories, though.
wouldn't it?
No.
Jews and Arabs is for sure.
Maybe.
Dude, they're going to shut down the whole fucking country over this Palestinian protester stuff. I mean, anti-Semitism is the one. I think that's the only reason we have hate speech laws in Canada. I went through all of it, and I can only find like 6 people in the entire history of the country that have been charged with hate speech. And it's all Jew stuff. And almost all of them were, except for like 3, were reversed when it got to the high level.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting rabbit hole to go down. I'll probably get into it a little bit later. So, Canadian extremist travelers, CETs, are individuals with an attachment to Canada through citizenship, permanent residency, or a valid visa, and are suspected of having traveled abroad to engage in terrorism-related activities. The current threat posed to Canada by CETs is religiously motivated. CSIS is aware of a small number of Canadians who aspire to travel to join racially motivated violent extremist groups in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Africa. Wow, I bet you those aren't white dudes or like Indians like me. I bet you they're Arabs. Semites, one might say. In 2023, 6 Daesh-affiliated CETs and their children returned to Canada from internally displaced persons camps in Syria. So.
Right on. Well, that was good. Yeah, that's interesting.
Wait, we didn't even get to the best part yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wow, that's a big report.
Where's the gender stuff?
Well, we passed it already, the anti-gender stuff, right?
I thought there was a whole thing on that. Yeah.
Oh, it's probably at the very end then.
IMVE's major blah blah blah.
Probably at the very end.
Anti-2SL, LGBTQIA, and anti-Semitic rhetoric is spreading widely through social media and online forums among domestic RMVE adherents, increasing the risk of extremist violence against these communities. So RMVE is against the gays too? I thought it was just racial.
Well, no, yeah, I know. I guess that's the anti-genders mixed into that then, I guess.
It must be.
Yeah.
It must be. Terrorism, a look ahead at terrorism. So I don't know. I can't find that. We must
did it talk about how, what was that shining light? Go back up for a sec.
There's a deep fake thing in here.
Scroll back up for a sec.
Tell me when to stop.
Right there. Shining the light. No, shining the light, building a strategic, transparent, and accountable. So is this where they talk about diversity, equity, inclusion in the organization? I mean, did they get into that? Is this their DEI statements and stuff?
I joined CSIS and blah blah blah. Day-to-day activities. Transparency remains more CSIS transparent. Oh yeah, wait, here it is.
No.
Here it is. It is time for CSIS to not only come out of the shadows, but to be the one shining the light. Canadians have noticed in recent years that CSIS has been more publicly engaged than ever before. This is evident through our recent public acknowledgments and blah, blah, blah. CSIS critical efforts in major national security investigations, our increased engagement with the media, our public release of our comprehensive diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, and through key public products like this report.
There you go. They had to put it in there.
Then you have your deep fake here. Doesn't really say anything about deep fake. It just throws a picture there so they can, because they're getting ready to, there's a deep fake coming out.
Well, hang on. Partner engagement. I mean, I wonder if this is where they talk about consulting, right? I mean, I wonder if they have partnerships or like, who does CSIS partner with? I mean,
well, academia, 22%. Just weird.
That's engagement, though. That's engagement.
What do you mean? Is that what is? Isn't that? Wouldn't that be a partner?
If you scroll up, The partner engagement. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, you're right.
CSIS conducted 147 outreach engagements. So 22% are academia, which is weird. Your science is wrong. It's got to be COVID stuff, right?
Yeah.
Your science is wrong. Vaccines are fine. No such thing as turbo cancer. Indigenous, 14%. Shut up, Indian. Private sector, 14%. Government of Canada, 13%. Provincial, 8%. High tech, 8%. Community group, 7%. Health science, 4%. Municipal, 4%. International, 3%. Shouldn't CSIS be doing a lot more international stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I guess what you're thinking, because the RCMP should be handling
someone other than fucking me, dude. They're for spying. They're spies.
Yeah.
Spy outside Canada.
Yeah.
You know, we got the RCMP for inside Canada.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Transportation and logistics. So it was a neat little report. There's your we got a pretty gay here we have the a workplace for all.
So, here it is. Here it is.
This
is people first.
Connection to the mission, career growth and development, inclusivity. They got a cripple and a black dude in the picture. Leadership. They got an Arab, a black dude, and a white dude. Yeah. Employee retention and attraction, ERA.
Do they get to go to the office like 2 days a week or 3 days? I mean, is it? Are they part of this whole? Are they part of this whole union office thing? Are they going to be walking the street? Are they going to be?
Are they going to be
leaders of the summers of discontent? I mean, how?
They do have 24 ongoing harassment investigations. So
that's not bad.
Was that internal or external?
Harassing her, maybe.
Here's the workplace initiatives, the diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. In 2023, CSIS became the first Five Eyes intelligence service to publicly release its comprehensive diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. Let's get some fucking immigrants into the spy agencies. Some woke fucking Jews and Arabs. Let's bring them all in. We'll get some China in there.
That's what we should have labeled this podcast, Woke Spies.
We could change it since we didn't even do the foreign interference bit. DNC's commitments and actions for increasing diversity and inclusion in our workplace while also advancing meaningful engagement with the diverse diaspora community. Diaspora,
yeah.
Shouldn't it be diaspora of communities?
Yep.
A typo. How many people do you think read this?
Well, they skipped through the DEI part.
Diaspora of communities we protect. In 2023, CSIS has continued to make strides in advancing the strategy and implementation of the 3-year action plan. Implementation of the 45 commitments to, okay, now I need to see what the commitments are.
Oh boy, they've got a list of 45 commitments. Oh no.
Director's message, land acknowledgements. CSIS offices in Canada are located on various ancestral and traditional lands in the spirit of reconciliation. And we're not going to give you any land, but we will acknowledge
that you don't own the land. Okay.
We will acknowledge that it's ours. We will remind you that we took it from you every chance we get. 54% of working Canadians has observed instances of discrimination towards other employees. I have discriminated against other employees personally. So
you missed the headline of that one because there's probably 47 of these things, but
you think this is all of them? I thought it would be like one of these.
Yeah.
It's this one.
No, I don't know actually.
It's got to be I'm expecting to see a list of like 47 things here. I want to see. Oh, here we go.
Oh, well, it should have shown it.
Employment breakdown 2017 to 2021. Women 48%, visible minorities 16%, Indians 3%, and persons with disabilities 5%.
So where are they trying to get that to then? Like, are they trying to? What's the goal there? Women, get the women up too, get them all up, I guess.
So if we go up to rate where we're at now,
So the women are 50% of CSIS is women.
visible minorities. I mean, couldn't that just say colored people? Couldn't it? Isn't that what it says?
Visible minorities? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean,
Asians aren't
they're gonna have
colored,
to
I
change
guess.
that soon. If they go by the
So 49 plus 18 plus 2 plus 4, 4% are fucking cripples. I mean, is that a good idea? I'm
it's
not
10%.
against crippled people. I just don't think they make great spies.
There's WFA 10%. So they haven't updated this for a
Just
while.
wait. 48. So 49, 18 plus 2. So you're at 53 plus 20. So 73% of our fucking spies are either women, visible minorities, which I'd be fine with if it weren't for the fact that those visible minorities probably weren't born in Canada. So, also probably fine 9 times out of 10. But yeah, I don't know. If there's one agency that maybe you have to be born in Canada to work at, I'd feel like the spies might be a good one.
Yeah.
So you can't just like come here from India and apply.
So I guess they're trying to work towards that WFA then, I guess. That's the workforce availability.
That's where they want to get.
Yeah.
So they would like to get this bitch up to 21 plus 61. So they want to get to 82%. So just 18% fucking dudes, white dudes.
White cis dudes.
Just white dudes. That's it. It doesn't matter if the chicks it doesn't matter what color they are. As long as they're chicks, we'll take them. Sold.
Well, do they fit in both? They might fit in both categories, then, I guess.
Oh, you think you got some twofers in there?
Yeah, or four. I mean, what if you have, somebody with, I guess the visible minorities and the
What
indigenous.
if you have a crippled black lady?
Yeah, then you
also half Indian. But I digress. I should get a job. Why is it only 2% Indians? I mean, here's a question. There's a fucking 1.5 million Indians in Canada. What percentage of the population is that? I would say it's more than people with disabilities. We're talking like what?
Not anymore.
1 in 40? 1 in 40 people are an Indian in Canada?
What I want to know is how it went from 3% Indigenous in 2017 to 2% in 2018. Like you guys dropped down to 2 and stayed there for 4 years.
I know.
How hard was it to get that 2 back up to 3? Come on.
I'm outraged. So CSIS employment equity breakdown. Women in the science technology group 16.1%, general services 19.7%, visible minorities, colored people. Just think colored people whenever you see visible minorities. It means people that look different than you. Specifically, that's what it means. Look different than you. Anyway, people with disabilities, it looks like they're mostly during administration. Oh no, look at this. Intelligence and operations, 3.2%.
Yeah.
There's probably some like autistic kids that are real good at like
the keyboards and the computers and stuff. Yeah.
Breaking stuff down. Yeah. So that was a nice little sidebar. Yeah. Oh man, here they are. These are the 8 themes of change. Accountability, a responsibility for following through with DEI initiatives. 2, an inclusive workplace, which is creating a sense of belonging and a safe space for employees that work for the fucking spy agency. DEI leadership, planning and resources, career development with a DEI lens. Recommendations within this category focus on implementing dedicated resources at the leadership level to oversee DEI initiatives and programs, e.g., a dedicated DEI manager. Interviews, assessments, and selection, review HR processes from a DEI lens, and identify systematic barriers and biases. Number 5, liaison and community outreach, build sincere relationships, blah, blah, blah. Everything else kind of sucks. Identify systematic barriers in your job postings. Like what? Post them in
this is very comprehensive. Posting what?
Post them in Swahili.
Yeah, this is a pretty comprehensive DEI. I mean, really, for all the corporations, I mean, this has got to be as comprehensive as you get with this stuff.
Recommendations. diversity in leadership, candidate selection reviews. It is recommended that HR selection processes be assessed for biases to improve consistency and integrate a DEI framework.
Yeah, of course.
Values, images, communications, right fit exercises, and perception of bias staffing. Diversity and strategic planning, DEI, cultural wellness. It is recommended that cultural awareness and cross-cultural sensitivity be incorporated in CSIS's activity and events. This would increase education and knowledge as well as increase employees' sense of belonging. Anyway, I never. Oh, here is this the 43? No,